Hello there, great person, and welcome to my review of the Three Body Problem book. So, as you all recommend so bountifully, I did read it now. So, the first book, I'm not going to read the second one because I assume it will spoil season 2 of the show, which I enjoyed a lot, season 1. And after that, I read the book, and I'm here to tell you how it compares. And what did I think of the book? Because people have told me the science in the book is like more intricate, more well laid out and stuff. And I did have some scientific problems with the show, as you saw in my reactions, probably if you saw them. So I am a physicist in part. I'm like doing quantum physics a lot, and I did a reaction of the show from Netflix and. Yeah, what did I think of the book in comparison to that? You know what the first things first, what I really found mind blowing is that I listened to it on Audible, and there were so many occasions when I listened to the chapter and I knew where it was in the show. I knew what was in the show. I remembered being so mad what they did in the show because stuff didn't really make sense and. Not mad. I was just a bit like, oh, this makes no sense. I would have written it like this. I would have done it like this. And almost every single time the author had written it the way I would have done it as well. So the adaptation did a huge disservice to some stuff. And I will get into spoilers, of course. So, like, if you have not read the book, watch the show, do so. They're worth it, both of them. Tencent apparently as well. I've not continued that. I will. But... So spoils like the Augie part with her company where she's like, she's the head, and if she's gone, like the science is done and stuff like that. And I really heavily criticized that because that was rubbish. And then the book, but that's not how it was. Like it was just like they were already pretty far. The head of research was basically Wang Miao, I think. He already like they were already so far, like he knew it would get out. Like he's like, come on man, if you stop me, like it's still gonna continue, you know. And I really loved that. I really loved that as well. So almost all the criticisms from a science perspective are completely gone in the book. Like the book is probably the second best science fiction book that is based on true science that I know, and the other one is The Swarm by Frank Schätzing, which I think came out in 2006 or something, which is about the deep sea and the ocean trying to kill people, so to speak. I'm trying to make it a bit more ambiguous so you won't get spoiled. Like read that book as well if you like Three Body Problem. It's a good book, but Three Body Problem, like that nailed the science until almost the end. Like most of the stuff was so well done. It was so freaking realistic. Like I absolutely loved the science in the book. Like there was only 2 sci-fi things that even had. All the other stuff was realistic and doable and feasible in my mind. So one stuff that was futuristic is the the VR suits. So in the book they have VR suits that are just a thing. It's like a bit of a science fiction technology they do have. In the TV show version, it's from the Sun-T aliens. Like, I don't know if it's explained in another book, like that comes further, but currently it's just like, yeah, humans have AR technology, VR technology, and people use that, and there were these, the Sun-T followers did indeed just create a program for the already existing suit, and it was nothing special. It was just a very cool program, just thought up and perhaps in correspondence with the Sun-T, but mainly thought up by humans, actually, which is completely different from the show. And I loved that because it showed the devotion of the, I think it was called ETO, Earth Trisolaran Organization, yeah. So that was really, really well done. I love the Wei Jin. I'm sorry with the names. Wei Jin, I think is her name. Like the Chinese woman who does Kickstart it all, of course. Wei Jin, and she actually in the book was 1,000 times better than in the show. And in the show, she was really good as already, but they cut some stuff in the book that was so detrimental to her show counterpart, I felt. Because in the book, she had this giant character arc of trying to come to terms with humanity and understanding it. And in the show, it was very under the surface only hinted at. And in the book, it was like, there was this beautiful scene where she is like, she has this hate for humanity. She trusts people, and every time she trusts someone, they backstab her. Like, she's lost faith in people. And she's actually a pretty kind-hearted woman all the time in the book, I felt. It wasn't that direct, but like, she's this kind-hearted woman who gets freaked all the time. Like, she wants to go away from conflict, tries to like weasel through all the time, and she doesn't, like, because people stab her in the back. Because every time there's this little glimmer of her thinking someone is honest with her and stuff, like, she gets stabbed in the back and again. And she does find a husband, which is not Evans in the book. Evans actually wasn't even present as the person. He was just talked about, like, he just died off screen. It was introduced off screen. I loved that. No, Pierce, I think, played him in the Netflix show. He was doing a fantastic job, and I liked that addition. Like, that was a brilliant addition to the show, to the book. But yeah, like she marries this dude that brought her there. Like the Chinese officer that brought her there. She marries that dude, and they have the child, of course, and then she kills him. She kills him and his supervisor, and I actually have to admit I didn't really get why she killed him. Like, the dude she wanted to kill was like on the cliffside where she's in the show as well. So she got down with a rope. And he got down with the rope, and she wanted to cut it. But the husband came and, yeah, we're going to help him. So he got down on the rope as well. I think she just planned and just cuts both ropes, both fall to their deaths. And it is implied that's how she dies in the end as well, because she's just too weak. And, like, there's no, and Natasha, or whatever her name was, like, she just goes there and dies. Like, she's so hateful towards humanity. They destroy the world. And we saw it in the show as well. It's just the message and stuff. And then she's like, she gets a child and she almost bleeds out, and she's down on her luck. And when she's pregnant, there are like some of the secret things about the base she's working in are lifted, and people can come from the village nearby, and some children come to her, and the children come to her and they ask her, can you just teach us some physics, please? We are interested in that. We have to learn for our exams. We want to do good. Like, we could get out of our shitty situation in this village if you help us. She's like, yeah, okay, we'll teach you some stuff. And it just snowballs, and people come, and more people from the village come. The teachers even come, so she can teach the teachers, because she's a brilliant astrophysicist and physicist. Like, she really likes it, and she gets pregnant, almost died at the child's birth, and the village takes her in, nurtures her. They are selflessly devoting their time to her, giving her some place to live, place to stay, food, and all that stuff. And they are very, very, like, honoring her in a way she never thought possible. And I do think in that time she really regrets sending the message already a bit. And then it's always this back and forth between the village, which is her happy place, so to speak, in life, and the darkness surrounding all of it. And she actually does regret sending the message in the book, and the love for children she has, and she's regretting not connecting with her daughter, like, that's so heavy in the book, and it's nowhere in the show. Like, I think she cries once for her daughter that commits seppuku, and in the book it's so heavy, like, it really weighs on her soul, this what she did. And I felt I deduced it in the show, I think, like, for myself. I understand that it was probably going on in her background, but there could have been so many juicy scenes for the actress as well, where she could have shown more nuance. So yeah. Also in the show, the Oxford 5 are such rubbish bullshit. I'm sorry. It's just, I hate that. Knowing what was, because I really hate this trope of, yeah, there's this group of friends and they suddenly are all special, doing special stuff for no reason. And there was no real reason in the show. It was just like, hey, we have some characters, they're now prominent and we follow them. And I do think 2 characters weren't even in the book. So Saul from the show wasn't in the book, like the wall facer. What's his name? The guy who gets his brain like cut out. He wasn't in the book. I think he's in another book, people told me, but he wasn't in this book. So basically all characters that are in this book are Jean and what's her name? Augie. Jean and Augie are in the book. They're the same character though. And thinking back, Augie's character was the one I had most problems with because she was like, she had 2 chapters. Like, she was worth like 2 chapters of the book from like 50 or something. Like, there were like 50 chapters in the book. 2 of them were like what Augie did. Like, I have no fucking clue why they produced a character from that. Don't know. Like, senseless stupidity. And Augie had so much faulty shit. And I was really unsure in the end of the show. Like, there was some stuff about the character they put in, like they added, that was very good with Augie, I felt. But the book did all of that so much better. Like, I know I criticized her with the Panama Channel mission. So Augie parts in the book are, the Panama Channel is like 1 chapter, and the seeing the numbers is another chapter. And in the book, like in the show, I never felt that Augie really was that that concerned about what was going to happen, that she would be like responsible for killing all those people. And in the book, he's like shaking, and there's this military officer being like trying to calm him down, and they all know they're doing really fucked up shit with like killing all the people in the book, but it's the necessarily evil, and it's so well done. And in the show, it's just like, yeah, you know, we're military guys, we just kill them. And Augie then like has her like vomit episode, which was good, but like, it worked so much better in the books. It was so much better introduced. Jin was very close. Like, I would have, like, if I would have done the show, I would have put Augie's role to Jin as well. If there's no reason from the future that I don't know yet why they did it, but man, like, Jin was very cool. She was very close to the main character of what the book's main character was, and I really liked that. The book also felt a lot more personal because we only had 2 main characters. We had Wei Jin Wei, I'm so sorry for the name, and we had Wang Miao, the Jin / Augie character. And it felt so much more personal. It was so much more in depth of like, he had this, it was basically, the book is basically this, we have the China past part with this message, which is Wei Jin Wei's story. Sorry for the name again. It's her storyline about why she sent the message and what humanity is. Like, why would you send that message? Like, that, all of that is basically explored in her story. And in Wang Miao's story, it's more like this hunt for clues, the hunt for clues of this mystery that's starting with people offering themselves that do a particle physics like, and the detective. I think his name is, which is awesome casting. Like, he was probably the best adaptation in the show. Like, he was awesome, but he was also my favorite character because he was just so on the all the scientists were like, oh god, the future and humanity's gonna die. What are we gonna do? And the scales, and he's like, I'm a fucking policeman. I'm gonna do my fucking job. And he's very clever in the book as well. Like, he's so clever. I love him. And yeah, he's basically there as well a bit. We never get his perspective though. But yeah, Wang Miao is just like trying to figure out what the fuck's going on with that. He's like called by the policemen and by the military, and to get some ideas about the society of the trisolarans, and is trying to get there, which Jin does in the show as well. And that's basically his thing. And I do really think it would have been better if it had been like, if Augie had not been in the show, but it would have been Jin as well, Augie's role. It would have been so much more personal and interesting. Both actresses would have carried that role, I think, so it's not that, but I think the Jin actress is a bit, she better, I don't know that stuff, like, but you know, it should have been one role, I think. And science-wise, as I said, this was so impeccable, the book, until the last 10 chapters or whatever, which was absolute bogus rubbish, but because it's sci-fi, like, it's just not rooted in science anymore. It was like, from a science point, we already know it's bullshit, but I do think at the time perhaps it was a possibility that he thought up. And what I really can say is that he just have no fucking clue of quantum physics. He probably just heard like 1 or 2 lectures or something. And if he did have more, then I take that back, of course. But it feels like he has no clue about quantum physics, what it really does, and that he just read some cool articles about that and put that in. Like all the misconceptions are there, but the rest of the book is so well researched, and the science fits, like the cosmic background radiation, the technologies, like how he explains the particle accelerators, how he explains science experiments. Like he's doing a brilliant job at explaining all the stuff, explaining the computer with the gates. That's like, holy hell, it's so awesome. The 3-body stuff like that was my favorite part, like the simulations, like where they go into 3-body, and it's just brilliant. Like these ideas, the culture, and like the mystery slowly unfolding of the 3-body star system and the 3-body problem. Like they try to solve it to make the Santi go back to their home planet so they can be safe, but they can't because the planet will fall into one of the suns down the line. They can just not do anything, and it is so awesomely done, and they adapted that very well in the show. Like the virtual reality stuff is almost 1-to-1 from the book, and it was very well done. I think there is one more visit in the book, but it's so well done. Like that was awesome. And so the mono atom wires they were monomolecular wires in the book, which is it makes more sense as well, because like you could probably produce that easier. Also and they think about producing a spacelift, and that's why they actually target him. Like he's the only experimental physicist, like the only designer that's targeted. Like all the other people that are targeted are people that are doing ground work, like fundamental work on particle physics, but he's targeted with the countdown because he is developing something that could get the spacelift working, which would make them spacefaring civilization very fucking quickly, and that's something the Santi don't want. So that's very well explained, and I'm not sure it was in the show. I don't remember that it was explained like that. So that is a very cool thing. So then he sees the countdown, and he doesn't see it in front of him all the time. Like first he sees it on pictures, and it's like this creeping mystery. Why is the countdown there all the time? And in the show it's just like, yeah, magical countdown, here it is. And yeah, and what is really so interesting as well in the book is, and in the show it was the same, that all the stuff the Santi do is illusions. They cannot influence any fucking thing on Earth really, except through their zealots. It's like the background pulsing is a sophon unfolded, invisible around the world. So they simulate that, and I think they even call it, because I listened to it in German, so I don't know the English term, but it's like a spooky happenstances or something they want to do. Like it's always like spooky. And it's a play on spooky action at a distance, of course. Like it's like they try to make it spooky and unexplainable and weird, and they want to frighten people. And they actually use the sophons in the book to lock down all particle accelerators forever. Like it is impossible for, as far as we know in book 1, for humans to ever use particle physics ever again, or at least without outside help from a third party. So they really are royally fucked in the book, and that's even more daunting and harrowing in the end. And I didn't get the feeling from the TV show. I got the feeling in the TV show that they could still use particle accelerators somehow if they keep their sophons busy, but it is very clear stated in the books, no, particle accelerators, they're done. You cannot do that. Like they even are like, yeah, if you build 10,000 ones, a sophon could still cover them, and you have the other one flying around spying. And talking about the sophons though, so the sophons were the only other rubbish science that was in the book. Like that was absolute nonsense. I think had I not known so much about this stuff, and had I only read up a bit on it, I could have I think it's just like he read some really cool recent modern hypotheses about how physics works, and he just got his own spin on that, and it works really well from that perspective. It's logically really consistent internally. Like he's thought up every single thing, like how it works, how it would work, but like he uses really, really, really rubbish arguments sometimes, and like he uses arguments that are unphysics like that are disproven already from physics. So I know it's an old book, I just want to put it out there. So everything about the sophons is bullshit, like really, really stupid bullshit. And I don't mean that derogatorily. It's I take that back. It's not stupid bullshit. It's like very, very cleverly, very well thought up bullshit, but it's bullshit. Because the entanglement stuff doesn't work like that. He's saying that the sophons encode trajectories of electrons in the atomic hull, which is like there are none. There are no electron trajectories in the atomic hull. They don't exist. And we do know that since 1926. So I will not give him that one. Like that one he should have known. But and then he uses a very deterministic mechanical thinking in the quantum physics, which is like completely like no. And I think he's an engineer, so it's just how he thinks about stuff, and that's cool. Like the author, like he did, like it's one of my favorite books ever. So I'm just like very, very high level criticism, and more like it wouldn't work like that, but it was a cool sci-fi idea. The unfolding was really well done in the book. So the trisolarans try to create sophons, and they first fold so protons are 11-dimensional in this story universe, and so they are reduced to 4 dimensions and 3 dimensions and 2 dimensions and 1 dimensions accidentally. Like they want to get 2 dimensions, but they get like 3 and 1 accidentally. So first they take a proton, and it accidentally becomes like this almost infinite string, because it's like pressed down into 1 dimension. Like it's very big, and like it just falls into the planet, like it burns up. It's still reacting to gravity, which is cool. And then they accidentally create make it 3-dimensional, the proton, like from 11 to 3, and suddenly there's like the civilization living, or like there's this intelligence entity in the proton living, and it's like floating in the sky, like the eye in the show. Like it's 1,000 times more harrowing and weird. And they're like, yeah, you know what, that's really fucking scary. Let's just use that for propaganda. And I love that part of the book. So they use the eye in the sky and trisolar. So the trisolarans use that for their own propaganda, to be like, see, we can just eliminate the Earth, because like, see, protons are decaying all the time and like colliding and stuff. That's their thing. It's also a bit iffy, but like, yeah, like, and particles crash all the time. So like civilizations always die. Like it's basically what civilizations do. They just die. So it doesn't matter. Like no civilizations matter. So we can just kill them all, which they try to do by making us all infertile. Like they will just let us live out our lives. So yeah, that was so cool, and they just used that as well. And they're still pacifists though on Trisolaris. I think people in the show commented they were a hive mind. They're not. Like they're by no means a hive mind. Not at all. I think they're just in the show. They're not. Like they're just. We don't know how they look, but they're implied to have eyes and stuff. So they're like just regular alien people. I would say that's how the book portrays it. Like we have I think 4 chapters in the end where they have the hard drive that Evans does, and again it's a lot better described how the hard drive survives. Like, because if it would have been cut by the mononuclear wire, they could have saved most of it still, because it was a magnetic encoding or something. Like, it was very well done, made a lot more sense than in the show, where I think it made sense in the show as well. But the problem with the show was that it wasn't really addressed, and they could have. Like, it was 2 lines in the book. They could have just thrown them in. And perhaps I'm a party pooper because I'm like looking at it in a certain way. But yeah, I want my realism in shows so much. I just want that, especially sci-fi. That's so awesome. And so the last 4 chapters that like basically the hard, not the last, but almost the last chapters are Santi homeworld logs, and it's just from their perspective 4 chapters. And yes, they are the most sci-fi and out there chapters, and they really, like, as I said, they are the ones where physics really is misused in, not misused, it is used in a way that it's not applicable at all. Like, it doesn't work like that at all, but I didn't care. It was my favorite part of the book. I loved it. because they had so many interesting talks, and it was basically the reality of the three-body problem program, and characters were so interesting, the civilization was so interesting. Apparently they have evolved with suppressing their feelings, because they have all these civilizations they went through, and the civilizations where they had democracy immediately fucking failed, and that's why they don't do it anymore. Everyone's like honored to die for their cause. It's like, so it is actually, I was surprised it was allowed in China. I think you could derive communist criticism from it. You don't have to. But I do think if someone wanted to derive criticism about communism from it, from the Santi part, they could really easily do that. So I'm surprised they allowed that, because, man, that's pretty obviously not solely communism, authoritarian. The masses are more important than this individual. Criticism was that part really heavily. And the thing as well was the dude who sent the message with don't answer, we will destroy your world or something. He was just doing it because he was this low level janitor in the listening outpost who had no fucking chance of anything in his life. He was about to be killed because he was too old. So he was like, fuck you all. I'm gonna send this so you won't, at least you won't fucking get anything better than I do. So my life now matters because I saved a civilization now. And he's just doing it because he fucking hates his fucking janitor job, so to speak. And they once forgot him, and he starved almost to death, and it was so dark. I loved it. There was so much criticism in that Santi part, but I loved it. I hope in the next books there will be more Santi parts. But yeah, man, it was such a fucking awesome book. It was one of my favorites. It was very whiplashy for me, as suddenly there was this snap and suddenly science went out the window and some magic science came in. I didn't care. It was cool. Very cool. Yeah. Was there more I want to talk about? Let me think about that. I do think that's most of it. I do think the show did a brilliant job, but they could have done a lot better job. The best part was the video game adaptation that was so on point. Jake as well. Jake was a random character they added for no reason, to be silly a bit. I do think Jake is based on the husband of the three-body problem woman. There's this woman who married a dude, a mathematician who tries to solve the three-body problem with a new approach, evolutionary algorithms or something, which was really cool. I think that would work as well. So basically, I think a proto-AI they wanted to use to solve it. And that was really, really awesome. And so his wife married him for that. And because in the trisolaran society, the people supporting the trisolarans, a lot of them try to solve the problem. It's their Bible, so to speak, or not the Bible, their holy thing to try to solve the problem of three bodies so that the trisolarans won't come. So she's marrying the dude where he's one of these geniuses that is lazy and only maths, he likes maths a lot, but he's very, very lazy, and he can't he skips parts, so he doesn't really fit in anywhere. And he then goes to a monastery, and there he gets to know the woman from the Trisolaran society, and she's like, oh, you try to solve the three-body problem? And he's meditating on it, and she's like, that's good. Your approach is fucking awesome. So she marries him, takes him in, pays him everything, so he helps them solve the problem so they don't come kill them. Yeah, it's so cool. And the Trisolaran society, so the ETO was a lot better done in the books. There were two factions. There were the people who were like, yeah, just fucking wipe out humanity. We hate it. We're all just animals. And there are the other ones that are like, no, they might guide us, or they might let us be in peace. And sorry again for the name. I just heard it and I forgot. That's the problem with audiobooks in another language, Chinese names. I can't really, But the main woman, Wei Jin Wei, I think, she is of a very positive. Like she tries to stir it back into line because she knows she fucked up with the message, and Evans is like backstabbing her, and she's really mad at him, I think. And that's also in the show. I never got that feeling. Like she's really like, yeah, I'm trying my best to like make this okay again. Like she has, I felt in the book, I don't think it was that explicit, but she had this giant drive to make it right again. And that's also why she talks to Wang Miao, so the Ji counterpart, so much. And she regrets losing her daughter as well so fucking much in the book. Like, and she's caring for the neighbor's children and stuff. Like, all that stuff was missing in the show. So was the book better? Hell fucking yes, it was awesome. It was like, if you want to read the book, even if you just listen to what I said, it's worth a read. It's very, very well written, very enticing. The character motivations and developments are not that well done sometimes on a scene level. So in scenes, characters just are characters, sometimes don't have that much of a personality, save for the policeman, who's just the fucking best character ever in the series. Like he had his own voice, and all the others like talked similarly. Wei Jinwei had her own voice as well, I felt a bit, but the characters didn't feel very distinct. Like it was just more figures to convey a message. It was not people acting really in a world. Even Wang Miao, who sometimes is afraid, gets drunk a bit because of all the existential dread he feels. That was very well done, by the way. But still, he is sometimes very cardboardy. But other than that, like, it wasn't about the characters, really, it was about the science. The only character it was about was Wei Jinwei, and I think she could have done a bit more emotional writing. It was also very matter-of-factly like, yeah, and then she fell in love with him and she married him. That's her character arc with her love life. And, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, the Netflix is, in some parts, an extremely faithful adaptation. In some parts, they cut out so much stuff that would have been awesome, added so much bullshit that was stupid, which might be from another book. So it might be that I just don't know it yet. But I think the book would have done fine being adapted more closely, because it is such a build-up mystery, like the message and that the Santi are really coming and stuff. It's so much later revealed only, and it's this puzzle piece of really fucked up shit going on scientifically and stuff. Like, it's so weird, and you could have grabbed people, but no, they wanted their big shock with Wei Jinwei said the message, and yeah, shit, they're coming and stuff, you know. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how the other seasons turn out. So I don't know. Yeah, like the best addition to the show was Evans. Like, Evans was really, really well done. And the worst part was splitting Wang Miao into two characters. Should have been one. Should have followed him more closely. So, yeah. I don't know. That's all I want to say about this. So, scientifically, save for the trisolaran part and the VR suits, of course, which might even be like feasible as well, but like the trisolaran part was absolute science magic, but the other part was so on point science. Like, you can learn a lot from science. Like, if you understood his concepts he was bringing up, like the three-body problem, like the billiard table stuff, it was really well made didactically, you know, because I work in didactics, and those are very well made explanations. You can take them, and from there you can go learn more deeper and see where they work and don't work, and like go more into the problems presented and the ideas presented. And like, from a didactical perspective, this book is fucking awesome. Like, very, very well done, very well used analogies, and like very well done. Like, that is like, you will learn science with this book as well. Like, you will. It's very well done. So I would give it a 9 out of 10, I think. I had some criticisms, but most of them were not that detrimental. And I think the only real criticisms I do have is the characters not feeling like humans sometimes. Like, but other than that, and you know, I don't even mind the sophon stuff. I just had to shift from, okay, this is realistic science fiction, to, okay, this is science fantasy magic. You know, that's I had that little problem. But I think I took a little break when the sophon came up, and I went in with a different mindset into the book, and I'm really fine with that as well, because the the topics they address with that, again, are so well used in the book that I don't care. So that's my opinion on it. So tell me what you thought. Do you agree or disagree with stuff I said? And yeah, you will see me react to season 2 when it comes out down the line. And yeah, just tell me if you want to have other questions. I might answer your comments if I have the time. I have not that much time currently because of new position and stuff, but just ask me. I hope you enjoyed the book as well. If you did read it, if you didn't, just read the fucking book. Go right now, buy it. Read the fucking book. It's brilliant. Like, you should have read that book. I think it's one of the books you should have read in your life. It's awesome. Like, for a science fiction and for a science enthusiast, it's a must read. Like, the only 2 must read science books I would say is Three-Body Problem and The Swarm. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this wasn't boring. I hope this was at least a bit Korean, because I obviously winged this. So, as I always do, because I think just talking about my thoughts is probably the most useful stuff. I hate writing off scripts. I mean, I'm not a native speaker. My grammar's shit anyway. So hope you still got something valuable from this. And yeah, I still expenses on the horizon. I will do it next year. I didn't forget about that. Also, Oppenheimer and Everything Everywhere at Once will be as well in the future. Just have some problems finding a version that I can actually watch legally currently, because, you know, it's a bit of a hassle here in Germany, because I don't want to do it in a way that's not okay. So you will have to wait until I find something. So anyway, I hope you're still here, and if you are, I hope you have a great day. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the book. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you're still here. And I will see you soon. Bye.